backwards now.
I think this is a good note for everybody out there.
He says that I don't pull well on TikTok, so
He doesn't. It's
videos
a fact. It just doesn't pull well. It's called social media for a reason, and it's not selfish media.
I just gotta clear something up. You weren't the 12th man on the field right now, right?
There is no easy way to get anything ever. Oh yeah.
This is Mornings with Matt, the Deering Acting Studio podcast, where we discuss the connection between life and acting.
Alrighty, good morning everybody. Welcome to Mornings with Matt on the Deering Acting Studio podcast. I'm Matthew Deering here with Joey Sweeney. Good morning, Joey Sweeney.
Good morning. Did you like my dab?
Yeah, it was a good dab.
Thanks.
It was a solid dab.
Solid dab.
I
It
give
means
it
a lot coming from you because you're kind of a critiquer.
of dabs.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
I'm a dab critiquer. I gave it a 9 dab 5.
Ah, wait, a 9 dab 5?
Yeah, instead of point.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was worried. I was like,
that's
is
how
that
us-
like a 9 and
That's
a
how us
half?
dab critiquers. That's how we score.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense.
It's a technical term.
I'm very new to the dab community. So
Well, I'm surprised because I mean, look at you coming up with a 9 dab 5 right off the bat.
dang,
Pretty impressive.
really cool.
All right, folks. Today we are going to finish up our week series on balanced living. As we know from day one, this is not a tangible thing. This is more of a mindset. So the very first thing we did was we debunked the idea of balance in general. We kind of flipped that on its head. Then we decided to take inventory of our own lives, inventory of what we've got, what we have, the things that we're doing, etc. And from taking an honest inventory, the next step was we decided what we wanted to keep and what we wanted to get rid of. A lot of times we have things even that we think are good, but they're actually holding us back. So that was the next step there. And then we had a wonderful guest on yesterday, Chrissy May. Yeah, she was good. She had a nice 4-step process talking about how to master clarity and get yourself into alignment. And so today, the final step for our week, or the final subject matter anyway, is the need to have fun.
Yay! I love fun.
Yay!
Yeah.
And so the thing is, you'll see on there, or actually maybe you won't see it. I don't know if Joey put it this way, but I wrote it on here.
I did.
The need is all caps. Like, it's so important. The need to have fun. Not a choice.
Oh, no, I didn't.
See, Joey said he did do something before he knew what I was going to say.
Exactly. I thought you were talking about the YouTube description. In the little red spot here,
you made an assumption.
Yeah, I did.
And you know what assume does, bro?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I don't know what you can say and can't say.
Yeah, it makes a booty out of me and you, basically, is the PG way to say it.
Booty you assume. All right, so we better get to our daily devotional because the Bible does have some things to say about fun. As a matter of fact, the Bible's got a lot of things to say about fun, so I really had to narrow this thing down. But here's what I came up with for today. We've got Ecclesiastes 3:12 through 13. I have concluded that the only worthwhile thing for them is to take pleasure in doing good in life. Moreover, every person should eat, drink, and enjoy the benefits of everything that he undertakes, since it is a gift from God. So, I believe that we evolve as human beings, that we are always in the process of evolving. And therefore, I will admit that I was though I was always trying my best, very flawed, and I am flawed now, which means that whatever I think now, I'm hopefully going to come up with a better way of articulating my ideas in the future. But I used to say, work hard, play hard, which kind of makes sense. But it's also the one problem with that is if you only look at this in the context of what it says here, it's like eat, drink, be merry, for everything's a gift of God. So then you can go, wow, well, anything that brings me pleasure is a gift of God. Anything. I should just have fun whenever I want to have fun. Well, that's not taking everything into consideration. And so the work hard, play hard, you could actually end up playing hard and then just causing yourself more work, which is what I was doing a lot of the time. So though I was seeing a modicum of success, it was just like this pattern of up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So what I did today was I added an extra verse. We got 2 verses today, Joey.
You doubled down on the Bible verses?
Well, we're talking about the need for fun, and the Bible is fun. So I'm like, why don't we double down?
He doubled down on the Bible verses.
Double down, baby.
We are double live right now.
That's tight. All right, so we went from Ecclesiastes about having fun, eat, drink, since it's a gift from God. Then I'm going to jump right to Corinthians. This is 1 Corinthians 10:31. So, whether you eat or drink or whatever you do all to the glory of God. Ooh, now that puts a spin on the first verse, doesn't it? Because we're talking about eat, drink, be merry, do it, because it's a gift from God. And then the next one's saying, but don't forget to do it for the glory of God. So now I got to ask myself the question, is what I'm eating, is what I'm drinking, is what I'm doing for the glory of God? And if it's not, probably shouldn't be doing that thing. So it's interesting because we want to have fun. We absolutely need to have fun. It is absolutely necessary to achieve this balance in our mind that I think is the greatest place you can live. But how do we get there? And the key is to seek good, do good, find good in all that you're doing. And good in just about any circumstance can be replaced with the word God. That's what's interesting about God, because God is good. That works.
All the time.
All the time.
That's the song.
Is it?
Yeah.
How's it go?
God is good all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a good one.
God is good all the time. Is that really?
Yeah, it's a rap song.
Is it really? That's a rap song? Mm-hmm. That doesn't even sound like a rap song.
Yeah, I'll show you after the show. It's pretty great.
I was that reminded me of because the flip was like God is good all the time, like the switch.
Yeah.
I was doing this thing with Finny Boo, my 2-year-old. I pinned him down and I was like, and I got right up his face and I go, hello. And he just lost it. Like one of those big belly laughs. And to me, it's a little bit more fun to gain the laughter from the kids without tickling. Like if I can find something that really tickles their funny bone, especially the 2-year-old where he just understands some like comedy, to me, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to dive into this, the need for fun.
Heck yeah.
I say need, capital N-E-E-D, need for fun. Why? Because without fun, what's the point?
What's the point of it?
I believe to be successful, you need to schedule fun. You need to look for fun. You need to seek fun. And maybe, perhaps, most importantly, you must acknowledge when you're having fun. And that's what I think a lot of people, that this is where you get yourself stuck into being a victim, into being a sad sap. Because you're having fun, but you won't admit it. You won't acknowledge it. Why? Because you want to be the victim so badly. You want to be the victim so badly so people feel bad for you. Then people owe you something. So here's the guy that goes on the work trip. And he comes home. He's like, how was your trip, honey? Oh, I was working. I'm going to sit down and have a beer and just kind of be because I was working. Instead of going, you know what? There were some ups and downs. The trip out there was awesome. By myself, got to sit there and like read. A plane ride can be very fun. I'm sure it was fun. But if you're not willing to admit it was fun, then all you do is you bring up the blah, 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 right? And then that's all you're focused on. And then all of a sudden it's like you never had any fun. But the truth is you had a really good time. And this is something I had to come to terms with, and it's something that I try to ask my wife and the other people around me to come to terms with, because it's annoying.
I was not expecting you to say that.
Well, it is. It's just so annoying to everybody. When you're like, I don't know, you go do something, right? And then the other people around you, what do they want? They want you to be happy. They want you to know that you had a good time, And so if you come back and then you just want to play the victim card, then it just like brings down the rest of the room. It's like not fun. It's not cool.
Yeah.
We had to deal with that with this show. Mm-hmm. It was like I knew from day one, like this is a choice. This is something I get to do. It's super hard sometimes, but I mean, it's fun. Everybody wants to do this. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to be behind the microphone and playing the games and being on the show. And everybody, there's not a single person I know that doesn't want to do this.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to get up at 5 a.m. Mm-hmm. Not everybody wants to do the prep work. Not everybody wants to do the setup and whatever. But if you're not careful, you don't see this as fun.
Yeah.
You see it as the job. And then we went through cycles like this where it'd be like, you specifically would get up, we would do the show. I would even, this is funny actually. Let's share this with everybody. This is a little insider between Joey and I. When Joey would like have something like on his shoulder, I would want to bring it up to help everybody, to use it as for good. So I would say this, I'd be like, all right, Joey, this is what's going on with you. You ready to play? And he would freak out. And he'd look at me with these eyes like, I'm going to kill you.
About what?
What's playful?
About what?
What's playful about that?
Yeah.
There's nothing fun.
That's not playful. I don't like that. That's a terrible topic because I'm not good at it.
I said, you want to play? And Joey heard me say, are you ready for me to hurt you?
You ready for me to expose you live on the air to all your friends?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I find that fun.
Yeah.
And I think you do too now that you're on the other side of it. It's like, oh yeah, actually, that's where the good stuff is.
Well, yeah, it came in waves and cycles, but the biggest one was you and Brian both were gone for like 2 weeks because you were sick and he was in the hospital. So we kept this consistency with the show going, and I ran it myself. And I found out real quick that there's nothing to talk about unless you just go into what you're struggling with. Because otherwise it's like, cool, well, the 5 minute
it's a bunch
show.
It's a bunch of BS.
Yeah. Yeah,
which to just be like, here's how successful I am, and here's all the good, and here's no.
Well, and that's the thing, though. That's not the point of the show, A, and B, I feel like that's harder to talk about. Because you run out of stuff to talk about real quick.
Because it's not truthful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once you find the fun, and this is the whole point of today, once you find the fun in the work, because essentially what we were doing in that moment, let's just say, would be you getting free counseling, you getting free personal development training live on the air. You get it for free.
Yeah.
That's the way you look at it. So essentially you're working on yourself.
Yeah.
And to work on yourself is fun. It is good. It is positive. So as soon as you associate that, and this is all about associations, by the way, once you associate that as fun, all of a sudden the game changes.
Yeah. And I was just going to add this note, even if, because you were like, it'd be throwing BS out there, even if it was something you earned, like say you're bringing up the day you woke up, right? February 2nd, 2019. If you talk about all the good that's come from it, but don't talk about what happened before and all the things along the way, like if you just gloss over it and talk about the success, it's boring. And nobody gets it.
True.
Nobody relates.
And in my opinion, it's not 100% truthful.
I see. Okay.
I'm lying by omission.
Angle.
And lying by omission is still lying. Okay? So let's just say, let's say on my way home from work, I go to the grocery store and I go to the bar for a half hour and talk to a woman on my way home to see my wife. And she says, "Where were you after work today?" And I say, "Oh, I went to the grocery store." According to
Fishy.
according to some people, right, it's like, I didn't lie. I don't believe in that. I believe that's lying by omission. That's lying by me not telling the whole truth. I've still lied. And so that's why I think it's so important. Joey's like, "Is this a light bulb for you? Is this a light bulb?"
Yeah, a little bit.
Cool.
I've heard this idea before, but I'm like, yep, totally makes sense.
We need a
you
light
don't tell
bulb
the
button.
full story. And
Can we get a light bulb
you're screwed.
button?
Yeah, that
Like a
would be
bing.
really fun.
Every time Joey has a light bulb moment.
Ding.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Sweeney's light bulb moment. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, I was literally just rambling a little bit.
Well, I
was
love
yeah,
that.
it
But we
definitely was.
love to hear your
I
ramblings.
think anybody watching probably had that light bulb moment. It was pretty well explained.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's one of those analogies that just kind of hit me, you know?
Yeah, I'm really bad at analogies.
Hit me
It
a lot.
tends to get
Don't
made
say
fun
that
of.
about yourself.
It
Do
tends
not
to get
say
made
that
of,
about yourself.
Fun of in the improv shows, and I love it.
Don't say that about yourself.
What?
I am. That's an I am statement, bro.
Yeah.
Don't say it.
Oh, dang.
Don't say it.
Dang.
You can say,
Ooh, Seibert's on here this morning.
Seibert! No, we're going to talk about Seibert today. That's actually on the list
We
of things to
are?
talk about is Matt Seibert.
Dang, okay.
Matt Seibert is on the list, Joey.
He said, love light bulb moments. Yes, I'm guilty.
Bing, bing. Well, Matt Seibert's had a bunch of light bulb moments in the last year. We are very blessed and grateful to have Matt Seibert as a part of our studio family, and we are going to talk about him because every now and then you got to celebrate. You got to have fun. That's what today is all about, is how to have fun and why it's so important to have fun. So we are going to jump into some Matt Seibert stories.
Just going to throw this in there. We've had so many little catchphrases for the studio, but one of them was celebrate, learn, grow.
That's right. That's right.
3-step process.
GB.
You had that on like bracelets and stuff.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
And it's really
And I do.
It's really great.
And I do. All right. What was the last thing I wanted to say on here before commercial break? Because we're about to go to commercial break, Joey.
Commercials.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what I want to say right before we go to break, and then we're going to come back. We're going to hit up some Seibert stuff. We're going to talk about how you can use this idea of fun immediately, right now in your life, and it's going to make you happier. Just there you go. So you want to be happy? Stay tuned after the commercial. But here's the last point I want to make before commercial break. Let's just say you're a successful person, and of course, success is something that is personal.
We did an episode on that.
If you haven't decided that's right. If you haven't decided what success is, how could you possibly be successful? Mm-hmm. It's impossible. But let's just say you're somebody who's gained riches, who's gained a title of some kind, who's gained reputation, but you never have fun. So you're just grinding away every day, but you never have fun. My question is, are you actually successful? And I believe the answer is no.
Dang.
I don't think you can consider yourself a success unless you've figured out how to have fun in your life. And the cool thing is, we can make that decision right now, today, after commercial break. We'll talk to you about how to make sure today is fun and every day is fun. Therefore, on your way to gaining riches, on your way to gaining title, on your way to gaining reputation, you'll already be successful. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Every word matters.
The plays are so beautiful and so rich, and I'm just so blessed to be working on it.
We have a responsibility to vibrate worldwide truth.
No fire, you're hitting on my sister.
I could kind of care less about you landing jobs. I just want you to be a better person. We can be someplace 10 years from now, all of us. All right, so we're gonna end here. I want to leave everybody with this. I drew this before this scene started. So this is a little diagram I was thinking about, 3 circles, okay? So here it is. So this is you, all right? This is you. These other 2 circles, that's you also 10 years from now. You make decisions. You make decisions. The truth is, we all can be, we can be someplace 10 years from now, all of us. You decide, where do you want to be? And then you start making the little decisions to get there. Little decisions like reading every day, working out, eating right, studying, becoming a better actor every day. It's unlimited the amount of work. So like to think like, oh, I'm ready, and to be confident is different than if you came in terrified. The terrified is more humility. I'm terrified to coach you because I respect you, and because I respect the play and I respect the room. I'm legitimately terrified. Before you started, I was scared because I want you to do well, and I want to find a way to reach you that's not hurtful, but that is inspiring and that does really, really reach your core. And I think we got there. I hope we did. But it's up to you. It's really. Because you're either going to go, yeah, I get it and I want it, and it's life-changing, and that you'll probably figure that out in that alone time.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was just
This
jamming
is
out.
fun.
I was just jamming.
Yeah. I was
All
like,
right.
he's playing the intro song again, and then I was like, today's all about fun. Of course he's
I
playing
wonder
the
if we
intro
should hit
song
this,
again.
though, like on the way back in from commercial break. You know? Just
Maybe.
like, or maybe a different song?
Maybe a different
or like
song.
middle of the song? Cause
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, I don't know. Makes sense to me. What do you think about that? I don't know. We'll talk about it
Did
later.
you say steak?
I should have said steak because we've been eating a lot of steak and it's been nice.
Facts.
All right, so we're going to be talking about a little Matt Seibert here.
A little.
And really proud of this guy. So he went off to his pro day as a tight end from Michigan State. Go Spartans.
Dang, he said go Spartans again. You know, they're starting to warm up on me because I know Matt.
That's right.
The Spartans are starting to warm up on me a little bit.
Bro, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just you don't root for them when ASU's playing them. But other
Yeah.
than that,
Totally.
and not that even matters. It's like every time they've played ASU's won. So it's like not even a thing.
Now, seriously, if you get signed by the Seahawks, I'm not going to root for you. Any other team, I'm cool with.
Liar. You are a liar, Joey.
Yeah, that's a bold-faced lie.
You are a liar.
I know, but I just want to put that out there.
No, you're going to root for the Seahawks if he gets drafted by the Seahawks, which he won't because he's not a traitor.
Because he's going to the Cardinals.
But if he got drafted by the Seahawks, we would root for Matt Seibert and the Seahawks every game except for against the Cardinals. And then when he played the Cardinals, we would root for Matt Seibert during that game. And then we would hope that his team would lose and he'd be mad. We'd be happy. because he'd have 6 touchdowns and a loss
Yeah.
to the Cardinals.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
But why go there when you got Kyler Murray right here at home?
Yeah. It makes total sense.
Don't be
we
silly,
need,
Matt Seibert.
We need a tight end so badly.
You think you got to wait for them to call, bro? You got to call them because I'm telling you, any team's gonna be lucky to have you.
He's gonna call him up and be like, I don't know who you are, but I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah, and
I can block, and I can catch the ball, and I had the highest amount of bench press reps at my pro day than any tight end in the combine last year.
In the
and then he
history
hangs up the phone.
of combines. All right. So Joey read me this article, and it makes sense these people wanted to write about Matt Seibert because he's a pretty good dude. But you had some highlights in there, Joey, you wanted to go through. Why don't I let you do that?
Yeah, so on his pro day on Wednesday, I was scouring the internet because I really wanted to watch it.
Watch it.
They did not live stream it, so I could not see it.
Come on, Spartans.
But I kept refreshing the feed every couple of hours, and I found this extra, read all about it. That's
Yeah.
our boy in The Athletic. Totally stole this article and printed it out for myself so I could read it easier. But that's our boy. And look at how much weight he's lifting.
I had to ask you if that was him because he looks totally different.
Yeah, I mean, he does look different when he trains. He's like jacked. He had that same do-rag on in his pro day.
So cool.
And I said, nice do-rag, bro. Yeah.
All right, hit up some highlights here.
All right. Actually highlighted the highlights, you know?
I like that.
So we're starting in the middle here. It says, towards the end of March, Seibert drove back to his hometown of Traverse City, Michigan. He was there to see family and unwind for a bit, staying for a few weeks before growing anxious. Gyms around him were closed. The 2020 NFL draft and subsequent opportunities weren't meant to be. After all the years of hoping things would materialize, all the hours he logged in preparation for his pro day, he couldn't let it end, not like this. So, he took matters into his own hands.
Boom.
Then, it's a quote from Seibert, everywhere was closed for training except Arizona, Seibert said. They had some weight rooms open, so I found a facility there, and I just said, screw it. I'm going to move out there for a year and train until my next opportunity. I found a place, and I've been going at it ever since. Love that part right there. All right,
no, that's huge. And so this is the idea of following God's lead. So according to the article and according to actual stats, Matt Seibert is bigger, faster, stronger, can jump higher, is smarter. I can attest to that. He's got a better mental game. Partially from getting to work here a little bit. And it's like he's all those things in the year, but he had to follow God's lead. And how much more obvious can God be?
Yeah.
If he's like, oh, I want to like train, and there's one place.
Yep.
You either decide to follow or you don't. Right? And a lot of people will say, God, please give me the answer. God, please give me the answer. And like that's like a spotlight. And some people don't follow it. And it's like, God gave you the answer. You just didn't choose to walk through the door.
Yeah.
But Matt Seibert did.
Exactly.
Continue.
All right, we'll pick up where we left off. Atkins watched, who is his strength and conditioning coach at D1 Scottsdale. Super cool dude. He's a college friend of Jared Mishlove, actually. Fun fact for you there.
Mishlove.
But Atkins watched as Seibert picked the brains of NFL players in the room. Seibert held his own as a competitor. He wasn't afraid to talk smack to a player, even Vontez Burfict, who is a scary man in the NFL. Seibert tried to outwork everyone around him. It's the first thing that stood out to Atkins when he met Seibert.
Love it.
He said, I knew he was going to be a workhorse. He immediately told me, I'm here every day, no matter if it's a rest day, a recovery day. I want to be in the doors working out. He knew he had to put the work in. He wanted to make it. Boom. That's the next block.
Love that.
That is like straight out of the MD playbook.
Well, what's interesting is this. Working out is not fun on the surface. On the surface, working out is pain. Nobody, even Seibert, is not like, oh, I want to do this. You know, he talked to me about he was really wanted to work on his flexibility, and he knows how important that is, especially because of injury. He's like, I don't want to get injured. So he's like, I know that I won't be suffering injuries if I stretch. So he's like, and I have now a stretching routine in the morning and at night. And he's like, to tell you the truth, I never want to do it, especially at night. Like, I just don't want to. But he's like, but I've been doing it every single day. I never miss. But here's what's interesting. It's not fun to work out. It's not fun to stretch, but it is fun to play in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, it is fun to break records in your combine or in your pro day. Like, that's fun. But it takes work to get there.
Yeah.
So you have to start seeing the work as fun, which is a big part of what we're about to get to post Seibert. All right, go ahead.
All right, cool. So then it talks about what he was doing for training, and one of the things he wanted to work on was his speed. So I'll jump to the end of that part. His top end speed improved since he's been in Arizona. He was clocked at 23 miles an hour on the treadmill at 6'4", 250 pounds. He was pleased with the results, but there was more to do. Atkins likes to do his bench presses at the end of a session versus the beginning to see how athletes do when they're fatigued. At the end of a session now, he's putting up 23 reps fully fatigued, and he did 25 at his pro day.
Love that.
As I said, best among tight ends at the combine last year.
Joey, I love the concept of doing reps when you're fatigued. When does that pay off?
Man, I don't know why I'm blanking. I feel like it's very easy.
It is very easy,
Yeah.
and it's okay that you're blanking.
Yeah.
The fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's when it pays off.
I wasn't making the tie to NFL for whatever reason.
For whatever, I don't know.
Even though we get to talk about football, I'm like...
But it pays off in the fourth quarter. It pays off on the stage. It pays off when you finally get the gig that you wanted, and it's a grueling gig. Some people, here's what's interesting. Like, a lot of times you'll get a gig and you'll finally get one, and then you lose your voice.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as
happened.
rehearsal starts. Because you haven't been training.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right, I got two more highlights here. So then this is another quote from his trainer. He says, Matt's the hardest worker in the room at all times. People feed off his energy, which is always awesome to see. Other NFL players, even ones who have been veterans in the league for forever, they see him work and they're like, all right, I got to toss some more weight on my bar. I got to start working like this kid.
Yep.
That's the coolest thing I've seen from Matt. He makes people feed off his energy. Then the last one here says, Seibert took up acting as a hobby and eventually a way to earn some money. He started taking classes at Deering Acting Studio in Phoenix and ended up signing with an agency, Signature Models and Talent Agency, which is awesome. He drove back and forth from Phoenix to LA for gigs, once as an extra in an upcoming Netflix series on Colin Kaepernick and another as a background football player on the CW show All-American. Boom.
So hold on. So let's go back for 1 second. So in this international article that was published, where did it say he trained? Here.
Deering Acting Studio.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Thanks, Seibert. That was really nice of you to name drop the studio.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend, Matt Seibert. So last thing I want to say about Matt Seibert is this. So I had offered just a private lesson, just a one-on-one with him about football, and I'm an acting coach. And he was like, yeah, man, let's do it. And then what's funny is he actually used this language. So if he's watching, he can appreciate this and he can stop saying this. A lot of people do this. But he was like, I think it was like the day before or something. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. I'm actually really excited for it. And people don't realize that it's weirdly an insult, but you don't mean it to be. And I obviously didn't take it that way. But to say I'm actually
he said, like most people wouldn't be excited for it.
Well,
very few people would actually take you up
right.
on mental coaching.
I know you get paid $400 an hour to do this, but I'm actually excited to sit down with you for free.
And let me break a couple of your shutters to repay you.
You know, he used to do that a lot, but he, to his credit, somebody must have pointed it out to him, and so he was working on it. Was this guy Thomas Gorney? When I was working with him, he's a billionaire, and I'm working with him, helping him with his company, with his speaking, with different things, and I'd be working with him, and I would say something, I come up with something, and he would be like, "Oh, I actually think that might be a good idea." Like, I actually think you're good. And then he would correct himself right away. He's like, I don't mean actually, like, you're just good. Like, he would do that constantly, where he'd catch himself on this word actually.
It's kind of like in a lot of statements, it's like you
It's a
said,
filler, right?
99% of the time that people do it, they're not trying to be hurtful.
Correct.
Which is why subtext is so important, another acting skill.
That's right.
Boom,
Joe.
but it's almost like
Way to work that in.
you just throw it in. Yeah. there
Another
you go.
acting skill that will help you in life.
Yeah.
Go to
The connection
DeeringStudio.com.
between life and acting. Take classes at Deering Acting Studio. It's really great.
Yeah, so who would have thought, right, that acting would help for football? But it's such an easy, clear connection. Joey's like, I did. It's such a clear connection, but a lot of people wouldn't make the connection because they don't train the way we train.
Yeah.
See, it's different. But when you're trained on truth, it's like, of course. If you're training on listening, becoming a better listener, of course. If you're training on how to become a better version of yourself, how to understand how to have fun through the work, of course, like, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. So we sat down, we had an awesome talk. We got to go through like the different mental aspects of the game. And I wanted to bring this up. I'm not going to go into the details because it was a personal between him and I. But at the end, the thing I left him with was, don't forget to have fun. And that's what today's about. It was like, I was like, you've earned it. And I reminded him that you go all the way back to Pop Warner, like little kids playing football. You go back to you and me in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we had some good
You go back to everybody who's ever played high school football. Everybody who's ever played D1 football, D2 football, D3 football, like community college football. Mm-hmm. And then you narrow down the people that actually make it onto a starting lineup on a D1 college team. And all of a sudden it's like that number of people starts to narrow, and your percentage to become that person is really, really rare. To become a starter on a D1 football team is like, that's an extraordinary thing. You're already 1% of people who have ever played football get to be a starter on a D1 team.
Yeah.
Then you go down again, and who gets a pro day? And you realize, and I wanted him to realize, dude, you're already like 0.05% of people just to get a pro day. So just remember this, because it's not going to be your last day ever playing football, but just imagine like it is, and just have, like, really leave it all on the field, whatever that means. Just leave it on the field. you
Yeah.
know? And the other thing, the other way that acting really connects was the idea of playing a character. Because Seibert is such a nice guy, and he's so laid back, and he's very funny. Like, he's a really funny guy. I could see how, like, you talk about a locker room, you know, connection and whatnot. He's a guy that every team would want in your locker room just because of his energy. Like, they talked about in the article, his energy and, like, the fun that he would bring to a locker room would be so, like, awesome. But I was like, but inside the lines, you're a character. You're a maniac version of yourself.
Yeah.
Just a lethal weapon out there. And what's crazy is he grabbed that and he's like, yeah, like, he kind of, like, it really started clicking. All the acting work was like, oh, I can use this in a new way. And then the reason I bring it up was because of the photo, Joey. When you showed me the photo, I actually asked you, is that Seibert? Because he looked a little bit not like himself.
He looked like a tank, bro.
A character. He was a character of himself.
Yep.
This lethal weapon, bad A version of him. And it was like, dang.
Yeah.
So great.
I want to end here because, you know, he came into the studio, like the article said, in, like, July, right? And he sent us a DM, and then he ended up taking classes here, and he's stuck ever since. But Brian and I invited him over because we found out he was a Christian, and he was like, yeah, I don't really have a church, and this was COVID time, so it was in the timeline where all the churches were shut down, but they were going virtual, but obviously he wouldn't know that. He wouldn't know what to do.
Sure.
So we invited him over to our house, grew that relationship, had a little Bible study that became a weekly thing. He became like a best friend to my dad, which is really funny.
So cool.
But I told him on the phone after he called me after his pro day, and I was like, I've never been this excited for somebody else's success. But it's because I remember like each week praying over a different thing, praying over whether it was strength to keep going or God's guidance or an opportunity, whatever it was. We prayed over this for like a year. And then finally to see him like get this second pro day opportunity since his was canceled last year was like so awesome.
So this is why it's so good to do what we do, and it's so fun. It's why I encourage other people to do the same thing, which is to help others. Because like you said, I've never been so excited, right? And what's crazy is you get nervous too. Mm-hmm. Like when he's at the pro day going right now, you're like, oh, hope he does good,
Yeah.
Right, of course. And so what's amazing is the more people you help like this, the more people you reach back and you care about and you really put your love behind, like you get to have all these successes over and over again, like through other people. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome. Like it's so fun.
Yeah.
And that's the work that we do.
Yep.
And I'll leave you with this, Joey. As far as you are concerned, you have been at a young age, have made choices, have struggled and fought and kind of just like worked on you and trusted in some of the things that I've told you. And you've gotten to a place where you are a highly respected person inside, outside the studio, and you're going to continue to be that way. Well, you happen to love sports, and here you are now surrounded by professional athletes. You've gotten to go film professional athletes because of the job. Mm-hmm. If you didn't have the skill, you wouldn't be invited.
Nope.
If you didn't have the grind mentality, people like Seibert wouldn't want to hang out with you.
Nope. Because it'd be a bad influence.
Because you're still a nice guy.
Yeah.
But I can't afford to be around nice people. Mm-hmm. I want to be around good people that, yes, are nice, but are also going to push me to be a better version of me.
Yep.
That's what that's what we have to be around. That's why, the idea of the steel sharpens steel thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so
iron sharpens iron.
Or iron, yeah, well, my bad. Thank you. Iron sharpens iron. Is that really it?
Yeah.
What does steel do? Just break?
Yeah, I know. That's why I wanted to point it out, because I was like, I know exactly what you're trying to say.
Does steel break when it bangs into itself, or does it sharpen?
I don't know. It probably sparks.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother episode. I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole. I definitely got it wrong. There's no doubt. Oh yeah, thank you for that. But here you are, and then you realize that the more you level up in your work, the more your work becomes play.
Yeah.
Becomes fun.
Yeah.
It's just like magic to me. All right, I got a couple quotes here because I know we got to end.
Quotes. And thanks, Matt, while you're pulling up this quote, for all your coaching over the time, because wouldn't be it without you, man.
Dude, literally, you have no idea. It's just the very beginning for you. Like you have no idea. The amount of potential in this kid. I'm the lucky one, but thank you for saying that. All right, here we go. Gretchen Rubin says this: one of the best ways to make other people happy is to be happy yourself. Yes, Gretchen Rubin.
Gretchen.
So if you want to make other people happy, if you really think that that's you and you want to make other people happy, one of the best ways is to be happy yourself. Hello, yes. So part of that is you got to take care of you, but the other part is, and I don't know how many times I've said this, Joey, but you can be a sad sap, or you can decide when you cross the thresholds of work that I'm responsible for my energy because I know my energy affects other people's energy.
Yeah.
You know darn well when I'm in a good mood, it helps you whether or not you're in a good mood or not. Mm-hmm. And you know when you're in a good mood, it helps me whether I'm in a good mood or not. And if we can both be in a good mood, like it's like lightning.
Yeah. Yeah, but not like lightning screwed in a jar, you know.
It's just a different kind of lightning.
Yeah,
screwed in a
yeah.
jar.
It's like a
not like me and Leanne. That's
Yeah.
that's an episode we're not
Speaking
allowed
of
to
lightning
air.
screwed in a jar, that is from a Masterclass Pulitzer Prize winning play. Your auditions can be submitted until Saturday night, so submit them because our April Masterclass is coming up and it's gonna be rad.
That was really dope what you just did there.
Thanks, man.
All right. So we got to acknowledge we're having fun. You got to acknowledge it. Okay? And this is the one thing. Okay, this is basically the takeaway here. This is the takeaway for the day. If you don't acknowledge that something's fun, then you're never having fun ever. So sometimes the work is fun, but you want to call it work so that people feel sorry for you. Stop doing that.
Because it's annoying.
It's so annoying. I'm serious. Nobody wants to be around people that are sad all the time, that are complaining all the time. So find the good things and focus on the good things, okay? Then here's your big like to do today. Think of something that you think is a total drag and see if you can find a way to make that thing fun. Because in my opinion, it can be fun to mop the floors. It can be fun to clean the toilets. It can be fun to do the most mundane, gross, boring jobs. It can be fun to work out. It can be fun. Mm-hmm. But most people don't see the fun. Therefore, they keep labeling it something. Therefore, it always stays negative, and their whole life becomes negative. And every time you talk to them, they're negative, and then you don't want to talk to them. Stop doing that. It's annoying.
You're digging yourself in a hole. You're losing your friends and the people around you.
And what happens? Here's what happens. When you turn work into fun, people want to join you because other people want to have fun.
Yeah.
So then you're not alone. And then
Boom.
then it really is fun. And the best example, I've already said this on the show, but in case you missed it, I shovel the poop in our backyard. It's one of my jobs. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do it when I have post knee surgery, so Leanne had to do it for a month or so, and she hated it. I don't mind it. I love the backyard to be beautiful. It's like to me, it's like I like that. But I've decided that that's fun. So I go out with the shovel and I'm shoveling poop. Well, I have fun doing it. It doesn't annoy me because it's not a big job because I do it every day. It's very easy. Well, from me having fun, my 2-year-old saw me having fun picking up the poop. So my 2-year-old Finn comes running outside, and it doesn't matter. Like he could be like just a diaper on and nothing else. He's running out to the rush. He does not want to miss picking up the poop. To him, he asked me, "Can we pick up the poop? Can we?" He wants to do it. It's like an Easter egg hunt because he finds it fun because he can't find it and then he finds it. He's like, there, that one, yuck, that one, yuck. And he runs around. And once we're out of poop, he's actually sad. He's like, oh, no more poop. Like he wants to find more. Now, of course, the other kids have started to join the game. The game of picking up. It's fun because we decide it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's legitimately fun where I would see other people could watch me do it and be like, hey, you mind if I get a chance to pick up the poop so I can have that same fun with Finn that you have? And I'd be like, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. That's the key. So what is it that you think is so mundane that you think you can't, well, there's no way that could be fun. Yes, it could be. Yes, it could if you make the choice to find the game, find the fun. People will want to join you. They'll want to be a part of it. Okay? All right, last quote here before we wrap, Joey. This is from, how do you say that? Giaquinto? Giaquinto. That's a cool name, Giaquinto.
Yeah, I think Giaquinto.
All right, this is Tom, like very boring first name. Tom Giaquinto. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Tom Giaquinto says this. Sometimes you just have to jump in a mud pile. No, there's no pile. Sometimes you just have to jump in a mud puddle because it's there. Never get so old that you forget about having fun. Okay, what does this mean? What does this mean? Never forget that sometimes you got to jump in a mud puddle. Never forget, sometimes you got to jump in a mud puddle. All right. I made this weird commitment to myself. I all throughout being a kid, and then through high school, when I was at the grocery store, I would kind of use the grocery cart like a skateboard, and I would jump on the back.
Oh, same. Yeah.
I decided I'm always going to do that until I can't anymore. So there was a time I couldn't because of my knee, but as soon as I can again, I'm going to do that because it's fun, it's silly, but I want to be the 80-year-old and people are like that guy's like he scoots on the cart, like he's crazy. Like that's just it's a silly simple fun.
Yeah.
This just happened yesterday. Literally, I promise you. We're walking on a family walk, which now is so fun because I haven't been able to do it in so long. We're on a family walk, and we can't even go that far. And we turn the corner. There had been a tiny bit of rain, and our oldest, Jack, who's 9, just 2 feet jumps in a mud puddle. And it's like, psh, he just sees it and just like launches into it. And my wife's like, those new shoes. And I was like, they were, now they're broke in. like I wanted to be zero. I did not want him to feel bad in the least, because it's like there's a mud puddle and it's just fun to jump in a mud puddle, but we forget that. Like we forget the little fun things. Sometimes you just gotta realize like a mud puddle can be something that I avoid and something that makes me, makes my life harder. Or I could just stop for a second and jump in and just realize like the mud puddle, the dirty spots, that could be where the fun is, right there.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
You know who's really good at this is Saya.
Really?
I was just thinking about that. Yeah.
Talk to me about Saya.
Yeah, she just I just remember we did like a chaos dinner once when we were planning one of the events we were doing, and we were at Desert Ridge, and there's this like giant play thing, and she was like, guys, a play set.
Okay.
And it was funny because people judged her, and I was like, it looks pretty cool.
Did you join?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then it was kind of lame, to be honest with you. It wasn't set up like super well, so we weren't that long. But it's just like I've noticed there's moments like that where...
Did everybody join?
No.
Okay. If everybody would have joined...
It would have been fun.
It would have been more fun.
Yeah.
It was already fun, but it would have been more fun.
Yeah.
And no matter how lame it was, if you gave over to it even more, despite what everybody said, there's a higher likelihood that everybody joins you.
This is facts.
That's what's interesting.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be the leader, but they say to be the second person to dance is actually the more brave person. So the first person to go and dance, right? Because everyone's like, oh, the person's dancing. That's the thing you got to overcome.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of bravery to be first, of course. But the second person has to go, I see what you guys see, which is that this person's dancing, and that's weird, and nobody's dancing. But if you join them, now all of a sudden, the second person joins, the third person joins. And before you know it, you start to feel left out if you're not dancing.
Yeah.
And that's how you create a movement.
Facts.
That's cool.
Love that.
And there's 2 things about Saya then here. Number 1 is she has probably earned this, because I know her personally, and we've been through a lot together over the years, and having fun was one of the things that we've had to work on. For her mental balance, because she's actually so motivated.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I believe her to be a girl of faith, and she was blessed with having parents who exposed her to faith, and she had to make her own choices, but she was exposed to it. So she was blessed in that she was able to see good, and then she chose good, which is great. So there's something to somebody who doesn't need to have the alcohol or the going out to a club or whatever in order to find fun, because you're not you're not forcing something to be fun. You're actually finding fun in the little things.
Yeah.
And that's great. That comes from innocence, actually.
That's what I was about to say. It goes back to like the mindset of a kid, which we've talked about a ton of times on the show.
That's right.
It's a good thing to have that every now and then.
Always.
To understand that life is awesome.
Yeah.
And there's, like you said, little things that can just brighten your day if you give into it.
This is deep. It is deep. I always say this. It's got to be its own episode. But you look at what Jesus says about children too. And because the disciples wanted to like judge the children, he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, you all need to try to be more like them. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that get, they get into heaven here. Once you figure out how to be like children, then you're on your way. Well, think about this. Maybe that's a key to having heaven right here on earth, is finding a way to never lose that childhood innocence and to realize that everything is fun. Everything can be. If you just choose it to be, it's like, oh, dang, then I'm already in heaven right here.
Yeah, this is facts.
Or you could be a sad sap. It's your choice.
It's a pretty easy choice.
This was fun, Joey. Thanks for playing with me.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to Saya. Shout out to Jakota George, because we said...
Did you say steak?
Yeah.
And then shout out to...
And of course, Seibert! Congratulations, buddy. We're happy for you. We are proud of you. Everybody else, we love you as well. Thank you for tuning in. Please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bells. Help us spread this light-driven content to the planet. We sure appreciate you. God.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.
Have a chippy day, everyone. Rough.
Arizona Cardinals, if you're watching this, sign my boy.